Hello, 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 everybody. I am super excited because I'm here with a very special woman, one of our client success stories in the Market Your Message program. I love to be able to bring amazing people to you, and this person right here is amazing. So, her name is Allison. I'm going to let her introduce herself. I'm going to let her tell you all about her company and what she does. I'm not going to take the show right now, okay? So, Allison, hi, how are you?
Wonderful, Niala, and thank you for having me.
I'm so happy to be able to speak with you today. I want to start with you first telling everybody about you and what you do for the people you serve.
Okay, I am the author of a book, Amazon best-selling book, A Woman's Guide to Surviving Divorce, and I'm a divorce coach. I hold on, forgot to turn off my phone. Is what I forgot to do.
It happens.
It's on now. Okay. And how I got where I am was kind of a circuitous route in the fact that I spent a 35-year career working in the corporate world. I worked in finance, I was in marketing, I was in sales, I was in team development, I was in sales management, I did mentorship programs, I did everything touchy-feely, womany that I could get my hands on in the corporate world and had a great career. But it was time to do something different. And that's when I published my book. And after publishing the book, the goal was to go out as a speaker. But I had so many women coming to me saying, I need help. I need help. You've got a process in your book. Can you help me? And so I started divorce coaching and found that, when God closes one door, he opens a window. And this turned out to be the picture window to my soul, to be able to do what I find is important, helping other women find their success. And in that, I achieved my success. And so to be able to coach other women was just a wonderful occurrence in my life. But that's how I found you. So I also believe that things happen the way they're supposed to, because while I loved what I was doing and had the background and a degree in psychology and the whole 9 yards, and I'm good at what I do, it was how do I go from being that corporate person to being a woman with a message, with a purpose, and being able to fulfill that purpose. And looking at all the gurus and all the Instagram and all the, you could look and see from somebody's marketing who they were following. I knew I needed something specific. And when your face and that smile of yours popped up on my screen and your message, it spoke to my heart, and I knew this was a woman that would help me find the voice I was looking for to be able to communicate to women and let them know what I could do for them.
Yeah. So, it sounds like, just from what I'm hearing, it sounds like if everything that you do for your clients, it comes from your own experience. Can I say that's correct?
Yes and no. It does
Okay.
come from my own experience in the fact that I hate to admit in public, but yes, I've been divorced twice. And the first time after I got divorced, I was dented. The second time, I was broken. And when I sat and looked at it, knowing that as a woman, my life goal was to be a wife, a mother, a nurturer, and I had failed. And the common denominator was me. So I had to do something about that. So writing is something I've always done. I went to the bookstore looking for a book so I could read something to help me through divorce. And what I picked up were books written by men, books written by women with an axe to grind, or my personal favorite, Miss Universe, who her life was obviously in a downhill spiral because she went to the airport without makeup. Now, I have nothing in common with this woman, okay? Sorry. I go to the airport all the time without makeup. So I started writing. That's what I've always done to express myself. I started writing. And since I worked for a bank, as I would be traveling, I was a professional traveler. Every week, once, twice, 3 times a week, I'd be on an airplane. I got myself an iPad because you can't work on your work computer when you work for a bank on an airplane, privacy. So I'd be sitting playing on my little iPad, and inevitably someone would ask me what I was doing. And as soon as I told them I'm journaling my experience through divorce, or once I decided it was going to be a book, I'm writing a book on divorce, any woman within earshot would immediately open her heart, start telling me her story, start giving me her advice, let me know her challenges, and let me know how she overcame them. And so the book and what I do is, yes, from my perspective, because I lived it, but with the validation of hundreds of women all over the world, who some showed up in the book, some didn't, but the stories in the book are not mine. They're kind of that aggregate story of women and what we experience. And why I think this is so powerful is that as women, you know, there's that old saying, why do women stop and ask for directions? Okay, we do it, right? Right, Niala, you've done it, right?
We do.
You GPS, you write down directions, you call 3 people to ask them the best way to get there, you get in your car, and you keep pressing the repeat the directions button, but yet we still pull over into a convenience store. Why? What we ask is, am I on the right road? And if I keep heading this direction, will I get to my destination? That's not directions. Mm-hmm. That's validation. And so my book became a validation for other women that they're not alone and that they will be okay, and that what they're feeling may feel pretty crazy right now, but they're not the first woman to feel this way, and they won't be the last.
Yeah, I love that you said that, because for those of you who are listening to us, a lot of times one of the things that I talk about a lot, especially if you've been following me for a while, is sharing your experience, right? Because your experiences, like what Allison is saying here, it provides inspiration, it provides validation, you know, it really helps the person who you are meant to help. And so what I'm hearing from you, and what I hope that you guys are hearing, is that the more you share your experience, the more you'll be able to impact other people's lives. And so as Allison was sitting on these planes, right, as she was speaking to other people and sharing what she was doing, it opened up the door for other women to now come and share their experiences with her too. And now she's passing it along, right? And so I hope that you guys really caught that one there. Okay, so let's shift a little bit, right? Because we know, and we're going to go back, because I definitely want you to share with them. I want you to share your goals, right? So what's the big goals that you have for your company coming up? What are we going to work on next, right? But before we go into that, I want you to share with them, how did you get to me? Like, what was happening that day? How did it go down?
Oh my goodness. So I was in that frame mindset of keep busy, keep working, keep doing something. You know, as long as the wheels are turning, something's going to happen, something's going to happen. And quite frankly, I had turned myself into a hamster on a wheel. I had a very full calendar, which made it feel like I was making progress. And I was listening to this person and to that person and signing up for every free training course I could sign up for, because of course, in my mind, I was just starting my business. I couldn't afford to pay anyone. So I had to relegate myself to the free stuff. And your face popped up and your little, and I went, okay, this looks different. And like I said, I know I base a lot on a smile, but I think a smile tells 100 words about a person. And your smile, I said, this woman has something to say. And so I immediately signed up and registered for one of your free courses. And again, remembering my background is marketing. My background is sales. My background is helping people achieve goals. I just needed to know how to do it for myself and not for a corporation. And what I heard in hearing you and your story and how comfortable you were with where you come from, how you got where you are, why it's so important and personal to you, that right there made me sit back, look at my calendar, and start clearing it off. Because all of this other stuff was noise. It was noise. And that noise was keeping me from taking the steps I needed to take to get where I needed to be. And the more I listened to you and heard your message and what you did, the more I knew you were the person I wanted to follow. And I wanted more. I mean, you gave so much in your free training, so much more than anyone else gave, that I said, okay, so this is someone who gets servant leadership. And that's important to me. Again, my journey being from the corporate politically correct person to the person who speaks from her heart, I needed to follow someone who'd walked that path, who spoke from her heart, who had my best interests in mind, not to tell me what to do, but to guide me. And so that was when I said, okay, I'm signing up for this call with her, and I don't have any money, but I know I need this. I know I need this. So that's kind of how I found you and got to where I am today.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm glad that you mentioned how, you were looking at all these different people and it just became noise for you, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I feel like that's where a lot of people are at. And I was there too, where we want to grow our business, right? For your case, it was more, I have knowledge, I have corporate knowledge, but now I'm moving out of the corporate space and I want to feel confident. I want to be comfortable as I do as I show up. And so a lot of us feel like that. And what we do is we go out and we start researching and Googling, and different leaders would pop up and we would end up watching different people. And what's so funny is that you're mentioning noise. For me, it was noise, but it was also confusion, because each one of those people had their own process. And it was like, go ahead.
And I agree with you totally. Each one of them had their own process, and they were all conflicting as to which program you go use. And then if you do it, you have to do it this way. So if I see a pink and gray marketing, I know exactly who they're following under. It's all so patterned when you do follow them, that you're working so hard to be authentic, but what you're being authentic with is them, not you. And Niala, what I really got from you and the women in your group is each one is free to express themselves the way they express themselves. Each one, and that's the strength of what you teach, is tell your own story your own way. I think one of the most inspiring pieces of information or guidance I got somewhere along this path, because as women, how do I say this? We would stop ourselves dead, because there's always going to be someone else with the same message. There's always someone else that's going to have a product or a service similar to yours. I mean, there's a lot of people in this world. But what someone said to me is, yes, but, and I love yes, buts. There's no one else that can say it the way you can say it. And there's someone out there that needs to hear it the way you can deliver it.
That's right.
And that stuck with me. And that was the coach or the program that I was looking for. The person that understood that profound statement. And everything you do and everything you say isn't about, this is the way Niala does it. It's about, here's the process that works. Now let's figure out how you do it. Let's put you and your message and your goals and use a process that we know works to get you where you want to be, not to be a mini Niala. Not that wouldn't be bad. Don't get me wrong. That would be cool. But that's the beauty of it. And that's what I love about your program and the community of women that I've gotten to know through working with you, is each one has their own way of doing things. And when you ask a question, everyone throws out what they think. And then we applaud the woman who makes her own choice.
Exactly.
She doesn't have to be with us. She can make her own choice.
Yeah, okay, so I wasn't planning on talking, even asking you about this, but it's so funny that when we do these interviews, it just brings up things. So here's what I want to ask you, since you mentioned the community, because we know that entrepreneurship is lonely. And, you go through all these different emotions, you go through all these different stages. And a lot of times our family the people who are around us might not always know what we're going through and be able to identify with us, right? So how has it been for you being with these group of ladies? And it's not even the ladies, just having the support, the feeling. How has it been for you?
Mind blowing in the fact that these are people I've never met face to face. We don't do the same things, or maybe we do something somewhat similar, but the fact that there's zero competition, it is truly as if you went out and handpicked a group of women, and I will say ladies because they're awesome. You could handpick people with hearts like yours, that only want to see you do well and know that having just that small part in your success is success for them too. So it creates, and when you read my book or someone reads my book, it's all about that community of women that have your best interest at heart, that community of women that just want to see you smile again, that community of women that want to lift you up. And that's what your community is. It is anytime I can stay silent and be in my own little bubble and pop into the group and haven't been in for goodness knows how long and ask one question and yeah, I've got answers, I've got suggestions, I've got support. And it's heartfelt and they want to see me succeed. And I know that when I do succeed at something, I can put it in the message. And unlike other places on the internet where you may or may not get a response, I know I do something, I'm going to get a bunch of thumbs up, wows, bless you, something out of the group that's going to let me know they're celebrating my success with me. And to me, that's invaluable. That's invaluable.
Yeah. All right. So let's shift back because I want to talk about your goals. I want to talk about your company. And so you've been able to grow to this far, and now I'm sure you have a lot of scary goals coming up. Can you share some of that with us?
Yes. At first, like I said, I was just doing some divorce coaching by the hour, and I wasn't really quite sure what to charge or how to do it. And all of those things overshadowed my relationship with my clients because I don't like talking about money. It's just the way I am. Even though I worked in finance forever, I know, sounds weird, but I want to be offering my heart to someone else to help them because a woman going through a divorce is truly shattered, on 100 different levels.
Yeah.
So how do you do that when, quite frankly, I do need to feed myself. I do need to put food on the table and I need to keep the lights on and all those good things. So by being a part of your program, it helped me understand how I can structure it and take all that out of the equation. Here's what I do. Here's how it works. If this works for you, great. If it doesn't, that's fine. I created a Facebook group for women because not all women going through divorce have the assets to go hire me as a coach for 6 months to walk them through their divorce step by step and help them with each thing. But I also know there are women that still need help and still need support. So from that and from learning from your community, I created my own little community for women surviving divorce. And that's where I'm able to give back. I invite my clients into that community because all the women are supporting each other and we're there for each other. And we have a weekly call, Wine and Women Wednesdays, and it can get quite interesting, but fun. We laugh so much. But it's what makes me proud to be able to give back to women that just need the help. And I encourage the women that are in the coaching program to reach out and to mentor these other women in the group as well, because that's good for them. Yeah. When they can step beyond their own broken heart and start looking at someone else, it's amazing how quickly they can see their situation. Mm-hmm. So my big goal is just to continue to grow my online community, continue to grow my divorce coaching program. I am working on some new modules, and it's going to sound a little backwards, but 99% of us, when we first get divorced, the first thing we think is, and I'm guilty of it, I said, within 2 years, I'm going to be remarried, I'll be fine. Well, that was wrong. and incorrect. And it was 10 to 15 years before I was really ready to even be in a relationship with the right person. Now, I was ready for the relationship long before that, but I had to find the right person. But not everyone needs to wait that long if they knew the path and the process. Okay. So my goal is to help people with that path and that process. And what I realized is just helping women through their divorce is great. And then I cut them loose, but I'm actually working on some pre-marriage sessions. Ooh. Based on the information in my book and dating sessions, not helping people, coach people in dating. That's not my gig, but helping people understand what makes a healthy relationship by looking at what didn't work and what should have been there that was missing in that relationship. So that's one of my big goals for 2021 is to have not only my divorce coaching program, but to have a relationship building program. And I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but if you look at the statistics of women in divorce, we all know 50% of women marriages end in divorce. Okay, we know that. We don't want that for any other woman. I've taken up 2, so hopefully I've taken up someone else's share. But the reality is, first marriages, divorce rate is 40%. Second marriages, 60%. Third marriages, 73%. And so my goal is to be able to start helping those women not be that statistic. To be able to say, okay, I made my mistake, but I've learned from it, whatever that mistake was. And half the time it's just picking the wrong person or the wrong person picked you. Okay, I'm just saying. It's not a fault on our part, but help women not be that statistic. Help women be that one that says, okay, so I've been divorced, but I can soar from here and I have the confidence I need to make the decisions that fit me as a woman in my life and how I want to live it.
Yeah. All right. So I got 2 more questions for you. One is opportunities. What opportunities can you share that you've been able to get this year since you've been in our program and since you've been on this journey? Like, what opportunities have opened up for you?
Oh my goodness. In all honesty, before we even got knee deep into the program, I had a new client and we started talking and I realized the hourly calling thing wasn't working well. I signed my first client before we ever even really fleshed out my program. And it was mind-blowing that when you know in your heart what you're really doing and you can explain it well, the rest falls into place. So that right there, I have to say, huge kudos for you helping me get focused on what's important. Podcasts, because I am able to clearly articulate what it is I do, why I do it, who I do it for, I'm getting podcast requests. I mean, lots of podcast requests, which is wonderful. The confidence to step out and try new things I get from you and from your community of women, because I'm constantly watching their videos and their things. And to be honest, I was a speaker for a corporate career. That's what I did. Honey, I didn't even like my own photograph, okay? So when all this started and Zoom and on video was the thing, had you and the ladies in the community not just kept showing me, it's okay, I just need to show up. And I need to be able to look into the camera and I need to speak from the heart and it'll be okay. Being able to do that is huge. It's one of the things that kept me from joining speakers bureaus because I didn't want to videotape myself speaking. Even though I knew I was a good speaker, even though I knew I was a great presenter, even though I knew I had a message, those fears stopped me. But seeing the courageous women that you work with and yourself and how natural and easy, and you just talk and it's like, oh, wait a minute. If I can just smile and talk and not look like I'm about to be guillotined, I might survive this. So I would say those are being able to build my client base with people that are in a program and not just calling me when they need me to put out a fire. has made me so much more effective, and it's so much more enjoyable that when I get done with my program, they're like, what now? I'm like, hey, we're friends. That's it. We're friends. You go, I'm here. I'm your friend. And so I am able to gain some amazing women as friends out of it, not because I made money off of them, but because I was able to help them. And that's phenomenal. Being able to say, I only want to take X number of clients a month because I know how much time it takes. And so I can limit what I do and, know exactly how much and how busy I'm going to be, because I know how many clients I need to have to make the money I need to pay my bills. And, if I want to put in a swimming pool next year, which not next year, but maybe the year after, okay, so how many new clients, how many more clients am I willing to do that work? What's it going to take? It makes what is for most coaches a very nebulous thing that just happens to them into a scalable, plannable business.
Yeah, that's good. All right. So we have people listening to us, and some people may be on the fence, or maybe, they're going through their mind. Should I join? Should I not join? What would you tell that person?
I would say the thought that made me take the step was the reality that sooner or later I was going to have to get help, because I was working, but I wasn't productive. I wasn't efficient. I wasn't getting the extra time in my life that I had intended to have by working for myself. So you can either invest in yourself now, or you can continue to be the hamster on the wheel. And a year from now, you're going to look back and say, oh man, I had that chance. I wish I'd invested then, because where would I be today? And I will say, from where I've been when I first met you, Nayala, and where I am today, I thank my lucky stars that I made that decision, because I know where I would be had I not. I'd still be back here. And now I'm truly helping women and having the life I want to have outside of that work life. So you do it now, you do it later, you never do it. Who are you? I mean, pick your poison, and know that the earlier you do it, the earlier you'll reap the rewards.
Yeah, that's good. All right. So tell everybody, Allison, tell them about where they can get the book, tell them about the community, and how they can stay in contact with you.
Okay. The book is, and I've got it right here, A Woman's Guide to Surviving Divorce. It's easiest to find on Amazon or Barnes and Noble if you type in my name, because there's so many divorce books. Allison Jeffreys, Jeffreys. I have a website. I do blog posts. So if you'd like the book, I do them about once every week or every 2 weeks. They're for women going through divorce, all the weird little quirky things that happen to us. My website is isurvived.info. And there's a link on there if you're struggling with divorce and you just want to move beyond those feelings of fear, grief, and failure. Click on that link and set up some time. Let's talk. I offer women my book. It's been described as sitting down with a good girlfriend with a glass of wine and hearing it bluntly. That's what it is. There's some humor in it, and I make fun of myself as well. But it's about the emotions we go through. So the book is there if you're struggling with divorce, if you think your marriage may be over. There's stuff in there that may help you save that marriage. Don't wait till it's too late. Do that. My group is Surviving Divorce Online Community. It's on Facebook. It is a free group. I encourage you to join. The women in it are amazing. The stories they share and the things they've done has been just amazing to watch these women grow and get healthy. And then, of course, you can always email me at allisonjeffreys@gmail.com. And I'll be happy to connect.
All right. All right, guys. Well, you heard it here. If you are that woman and you know that you need that type of support, definitely grab the book and check Allison's group out, Surviving Divorce Online Community, right here on Facebook, okay? Allison, thank you so much for being with me today. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Guys, thank you so much for listening, and we will see you again.